Hi fans, welcome to the GCAC Sports Network and the inaugural College Game Day program, Rivalry Week. I'm here with Dr. Lou Holtz. Hey, Doc.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Look, I tell you what, I love college football. Look at this environment. Look at all these fans. I love it. Great place here in Auburn, Alabama.
We are excited to be in Auburn. Of course, this is the week of the Auburn-Alabama game, also known as the Iron Bowl. Folks, we'll be back after these messages with an exciting show. College Game Day is sponsored by the McCullough Institute for Appearance and Health. If you can't keep your chin up, we'll do it for you. Operators standing by. Papa Rocco's, home of warm beer and lousy pizza. It's so good.
All right, hey, who wants to hear all my opinions with who I think is going to win the game? Let's get the real opinions of the fans out there on the street.
All right, here we are with the GCAC Sports Network with the fan on the street. Here we are with probably the smallest and the biggest Alabama fan there is anywhere in the world, Miss Barb Patey. Barb, welcome to the program.
Thank you so much for inviting me. It's wonderful to be here today. Roll Tide.
Well, we don't need to tell you who she goes for now. Barb, we got a big ball game coming up here against the Auburn Tigers. Your thoughts on the game?
Oh, my thoughts, if Alabama is going to come in there and play like they haven't played all year, in my opinion, and they have had some great plays, they will have the defense getting after Auburn's offense. Special teams will be great, and our offense is going to open up some holes for my favorite runner, Derrick Henry.
Tell us about Derrick and the year he's having.
He's having a phenomenal year. Nobody even seemed to know who he was until we played LSU, and that opened a lot of doors for him. And right now, he's really in contention for the Heisman, and I hope he continues today with a lot of yards.
Okay, now we saw the famous running back from LSU come up to Tuscaloosa, and he didn't fare very well. That Alabama defense is really something.
They really are. They've been a big surprise this year. After last year, I thought that they would be weaker. Oh my, was I wrong. They are so strong, and each week they get stronger and stronger. So I'm anxious to see how the game and see how they play today.
Well, you know, Coach Saban feels there's really three parts: offense, defense, and special teams. Do you think special teams will play a role today?
Oh, definitely. And I think Adam Griffith gets stronger with every game. And you remember he hit a 55-yarder recently, and that tied a school record. So I am hoping he has the calmness today and kicks the heck out of the ball.
Now, what about those Auburn Tigers? They giving you any worries at all?
Yes, they are, because Auburn's going to play the best game they've played all year. They always do.
All right, now tell me, you've got Derrick Henry as your favorite on offense. Tell me about some of the other offensive stars you like on the Alabama team.
Oh, Calvin Ridley. He's Amari Cooper Jr.
What about, have you been to an Iron Bowl game before?
Yes, many times.
Now, tell me how you are during the game. I have seen Bud roll his eyes before. Your husband, Bud, rolls his eyes when he talks about you during a game. How are you when the game's going on?
Quite animated, especially if they do something wrong and like fumbling or losing the ball. I hope they can hold on to it and it be the game of the year.
We've been asking all the fans on the street whether they have a prediction for the game. What's your prediction for the football game?
Oh, I'm going to predict Alabama 37. And Auburn 14.
37-14 in favor of the Crimson Tide. Folks, you've been right here at College Game Day watching the GCAC Sports Network with the biggest Alabama fan there is, Barb Patey. Barb, how about a Roll Tide for the fans?
Hey, Roll Tide, baby, Roll Tide. Let's do it.
And there you go. Back to you in the studio. Welcome back to GCAC Sports Network College Game Day Rivalry Week. Coach, you must have some fond memories from back when you were coaching in Rivalry Week.
Oh, yeah, I tell you what, when it comes to rivalry, you don't need motivation. Motivation should come automatically to you, I tell you. This is a great time of the year, and I tell you, listen to how football games, championship seasons are won, and how Lulers go home.
Well, let's get into some of the Lulers right now. Very first game we're going to talk about today is the Old Oaken Bucket, the contest between Purdue and Indiana. That must be close to your heart.
Well, very much is. I love the state of Indiana. I love Purdue. It's a great, outstanding program, and you got to love a program that's named after a drink.
I heard that. So who are you going with?
I'm going with Purdue.
Well, I think the Hoosiers, the great game they played against Michigan, they're going to come up and win this ball game. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Indiana Hoosiers. How about San Jose State and Boise State, the game on the blue tarp?
Who?
San Jose State and Boise State. They got the big blue field.
Oh, yeah. The last time I saw a blue field was back when I was a high school coach. We played Our Lady of Lourdes, and they had a blue field, but it wasn't on purpose. Someone actually damaged the field with all blue. But I don't believe in it. If you got green field, you got green grass, go with them. So, no to Boise State.
All right, he's going with the Spartans. I'll go ahead and take the Boise State club. Kentucky and Louisville, the Governor's Cup.
Yeah, I tell you what, it's going to come right down to a three-point shot at the end of the game.
All right, well, let's see if they can make that three-pointer. Here we go. What else we got here? Let's look at some of the other rivalry games coming up. Oklahoma State. Do you know what the name of that game is, Coach?
The Oklahoma Bowl?
Close enough. It's actually the Bedlam Bowl, the Bedlam Bell Bowl. How about that?
Bedlam Bowl. I tell you what, these are two outstanding programs. I tell you, Coach Bob Stoops, I know they suffered that bad loss against Texas, but they got the Sooners on a roll right now. I think they even have a chance to win in the national championship, but it won't be this year, and I'll tell you why. Oklahoma State is the team that's going to come right through, and they're going to knock Oklahoma down. I'm going Sooners.
All right, well, let's see if the Sooners can pull that one off. I'm going to go ahead and take the Cowboys of Oklahoma State. Mississippi State, Ole Miss, the Egg Bowl.
Yeah, I tell you what, this is going to be exciting, if anything. I don't know. You know, Mississippi State, the Rebels, the Black Bear, whatever you want to call them, this is going to be an outstanding game. Neither one of these teams has a real solid chance of making a legitimate bowl game. Well, maybe they do, but I'm going to go with the Rebels. I'll do it then. I like what they're doing with the ball now.
I'm going to take those Bulldogs, Mississippi State. Do you know why it's called the Egg Bowl, Coach?
I have no idea, but I'm sure it's exciting.
Very interesting indeed. Wisconsin, Minnesota, they play for Paul Bunyan's Axe.
I'm really disappointed with Wisconsin this year. I thought they'd be a better program. I think they would be a better, legitimate Big Ten contender, but they just seem to get the flow on offense. So I'm going to go with Minnesota on this one.
Very good. I'm going to go ahead and take those Badgers anyway. Tennessee and Vandy, the Tooth Bowl.
I tell you what, I love Tennessee this year. I love the fact that they got a young coach. They got an outstanding young of core wide receivers. This team is getting better, and they're going to get better and better throughout the season. I think they're going to come out with a big win for the Volunteers.
Even with Vandy's big wins they've had so far this season.
Yeah, but, you know, it's still Vanderbilt.
Absolutely. And that's what the coach said about going to the NFL, why it's tougher, because there are no Vanderbilts. Michigan State and Penn State, the land-grant game.
Well, this is I tell you what, I love these two programs, two outstanding traditions. You know, both teams kind of mediocre on the season, but I like Sparty this year. I like the way they're playing football. I know they're going to be coming off a huge game from Ohio State, so let's see. I take Michigan State on this one.
Yeah, I think the Nittany Lions still got a little more work to do. I'm going to have to go ahead and take Sparty as well on that. Well, we're going to cover all the big matchups when we get back. Now a word from our sponsors here at the GCAC Sports Network. Back after this. College Game Day, sponsored by Edward Jones in Gulf Shores, giving you more than just Lisp service. Grant Wealth Management, LLC. We're excited about your future. Here with the GCAC Sports Network, and we are getting fired up for the Iron Bowl, as well are the fans here in Alabama. We've got Bob Grant with us today. Bob is an Auburn alumni and a rabid Auburn fan. Come on in here, Bob. So, Bob, are you excited about the upcoming game?
Yes.
Boy, see what I'm talking about? The excitement is at a fever pitch here in Gulf Shores. So, Bob, do you plan to go to the game?
Yes.
As you can see, excitement is over the top. Have you been to an Iron Bowl before?
Yes.
Very good. Well, this is some exciting stuff here. So the game is actually in Auburn. Do you have a prediction for the game?
No.
No prediction. Well, things are going great here, and the excitement is unbelievable. The game is coming up. We're really excited, as you can tell Mr. Grant is. What's your most memorable Iron Bowl?
Probably the one in the picture behind us, the 1989 Iron Bowl, the first one that was played in Auburn.
And were you there for that game?
Yes.
Wow. Or were you this excited then?
Yes.
Well, here we are, folks, at Grant Wealth Management, where Bob Grant is so excited about the game he can't contain himself. We're excited for the game as well. So we're going to kick it back to the studio now. Welcome back to College Game Day at the GCAC Sports Network. We're here with the old coach, Lou Holtz, and we're going to be going over a few more final games here. Coach, Rutgers versus Maryland, the Who Cares Bowl.
The Who Cares Bowl, that's right. Who cares who wins this game? But I think that's when I'm going to go to the Scarlet Knights.
Very good. All right, here we got a few more ball clubs we got to cover here. Georgia Tech, the Governor's Cup.
Well, this game came right down to the final minute last year. They went into overtime before Georgia Tech won go right. I'm going to go with Georgia Tech. I think they're going to upset Georgia.
No, I don't see that happening. I'm going to go with the Bulldogs. All right, who else we got left here? Washington State versus Washington, the Apple Cup.
Well, the Apple Cup, I tell you what, I talked to an Apple myself today. David DeMeyer, a huge alumni of Washington State. He thinks they're going to roll and win by 2 touchdowns, so I'm taking Wazoo.
All right, Washington. Do you think Dave's wife knows that he likes Cougars?
I believe so.
All right, thank you, Doc. All right, how many games we got left here? Have we covered Nebraska, Iowa? The Heroes Trophy.
Nebraska, Iowa. That is a good game, I tell you. Iowa, I tell you what, they play old-fashioned football. Any opponent that lines up against Iowa, they know exactly what Iowa's going to do. They just don't know how to stop. And I'm going to go with the Hawkeyes.
Very good. All right, we are down to just about our final 4. Those teams that are going to try to make the playoff. But one more before that. Let's talk about LSU and A&M.
Well, LSU's turned into LSU. Where are they gone? They have a great, outstanding running back with Fournette, but they've kind of dropped off here. Didn't expect Arkansas to win, so I think they're going to rebound and they're going to take Texas in. I'm going with the LSU Tigers.
Just based on that fact alone, I'll go with the Aggies. Good enough. All right, we're going to get down to it now. Ohio State, Michigan, one of the biggest rivalries in all of college football.
This is a huge rivalry, but the thing about Ohio State, they haven't really played anybody. The conference, they've scheduled all kinds of weak teams. They even scheduled a bar mitzvah early and back in October, I think. But I tell you what, if they can knock off Michigan, and Michigan has again, they got that warm quarterback and a lousy defense, I'm going to go with Ohio State on this one.
All right, well, Papa Rocco might have something to say about that. Notre Dame and Stanford. I know that's a game that's got to be close to your heart.
It is. This is a good game. These are 2 outstanding schools, 2 outstanding traditions. I love the fact that these 2 teams get so geared up just the same way even USC does, But this is the first time that Notre Dame has not played a Big Ten school in many, many, many years. So I think Notre Dame, they're the independent. They're the ones who are really trying to fight for a spot here in the Final Four. Notre Dame's going to go on. They're going to win this one, and they're going to finish the season with 1 loss.
Chop down the tree. The Cardinals going down, according to Dr. Lou. All right, we've got another game to cover, and of course that's the big one coming up, and that's the Alabama-Auburn game, also known as the Iron Bowl. Tell us your thoughts there, but you know what? I know you had something you wanted to bring up, Coach, about our man on the street.
That's right. I tell you what, there's all kinds of action going out there, so let's go back. Let's get more action. What's going on about the big game here in Auburn?
All right, welcome to the GCAC Sports Network. We're here today with legendary Alabama great E. Galen McCullough. That's Dr. E. Galen McCullough. Doc, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Kevin. It's nice to be a part of it.
That's great. Thank you, sir. Doc, before we get started, I need to settle an argument between Dr. Lou and myself. The E in E. Galen McCullough, I say it stands for every down Galen. I heard you played center, nose tackle, wide receiver. You kicked, you returned, you even held for your own kickoffs. Is that correct?
No.
Okay, thank you very much. Very interesting so far. So, everyday Galen. Well, Dr. McCullum, tell me, when you were center for Alabama, I understand, what's the most rebounds you ever pulled down in a game?
None.
Well, I'm sure you tried. Okay, this is getting better all the time. Okay, Dr. McCutcheon, tell me.
McCutcheon?
I'm sorry, that's what... Dr. McCullough, sorry, it says McCutcheon right here on my notes. Many of our younger fans may not know that the game has not always been played on alternating campuses. It used to actually be played in Huntsville and called the Rocket Bowl. Tell us about that.
No, it was played in Birmingham, and it was called the Iron Bowl.
Why would they call it the Rocket Bowl if it was in Birmingham?
Because it wasn't played in Birmingham. It was not the Rocket Bowl.
The Iron Bowl. Okay, very good. Have to talk to our researchers here in a little bit. Well, tell us, Dr. McCarver, what is your fondest memories of playing in the Iron Bowl?
Well, it wasn't McCarver, because if I had been McCarver, I wouldn't have been there.
Oh, well, just stick with the questions if you would, please, sir.
My fondest memory was the fact that we won 2 of those and only lost 1
Out of 4.
out of 3.
3, even better, even better. That's a pretty good percentage. So, Dr. MacArthur, tell me, how do you feel about the game moving from Tuscaloosa to Auburn back and forth now instead of being played in Huntsville?
Well, it was never played in Huntsville, but it was played in Birmingham, and I think it's exciting for the fans, but it used to be a really great event where one half of the stadium was Alabama and one half of the stadium was Auburn. It was equally divided with the tickets, and it was a real spectacle in those days, and it really is a shame that we've lost that.
Great fond memories for you, I'm sure.
Great fun.
Anyway, thank you, sir. Dr. McAllister, tell me, what's your prediction for this year's game?
I learned a long time ago that you never know what a group of 18 and 20-year-old boys are going to do on Saturday, and so I don't have any prediction, except for the fact that it'll be an exciting game. The stands will be full, and I think you expect the players to play to the highest potential that they can.
Wow, that is riveting, Doctor. Once again, we are here with Dr. McCutcheon here telling us about when he played at Alabama back in the 60s where men were men and helmets were leather. Is that correct?
No, Calvin, that was not the case. We actually had plastic helmets in those days.
Wow, what'll they think of next? This is exciting, but as you can see, folks here are really wrapped up into a frenzy as we approach this Alabama-Auburn game in 2015. Thanks, Doc.
You're welcome, Calvin. It's good to see you.
Welcome back to the College Game Day with GCAC Sports Network. We're here with the famous coach, Lou Holtz. And we're going to talk about the game you all been waiting to hear about. And, of course, that is the Alabama-Auburn game, also known as the Iron Ball. Tell us your thoughts, Dr. Lou.
Well, I love these 2 teams. These are an outstanding rivalry game, whether it's Michigan State, Ohio State, Army versus Navy, Alabama, Auburn. This is what it boils down to. Everybody knows one of the most memorable plays ever in college football was between this rivalry right here. I like Auburn. I think they're an outstanding team. They got outstanding athletes. But I just don't think they have enough to beat Alabama this year. Just take a look at that defense. Who's been able to run on Alabama this year? They got a linebacker, Reggie Haglett. He's in the grand finalist. I'm telling you. And then you got to look at their offense. Derrick Henry, outstanding running back. I like the way his chances. Even if he goes down in the first quarter, Nick Saban's got a whole stable full of running backs. But I'm going to take Alabama, even though I'm Irish. I'm going to take Bama.
Very good. Well, I'll tell you what, with the stable of quarterbacks that Auburn has, they're pretty much interchangeable. They've managed to lose with any one of them, and I don't see a reason why they couldn't do it again. But my home blood right now bleeds orange and blue. I'm going with the Auburn Tigers. Only thing left is the ball game.
Go get 'em.
My goodness, there was a tornado in the area and they had to stop the play and we had to wait for a little bit and then it was many years ago and we were in Tuscaloosa. Man, I love that team. If you need a retake, we can do it again.